Cooma River. I'm here with one of the up-and-coming stars of wakeboarding, Coby France. Now, Coby, tell us how you got into wakeboarding.
Well, basically with wakeboarding, my dad did it, and just watching wakeboarding movies, just going, wow, I want to do that when I grow up.
Blow you away a bit.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what's your favourite trick?
My favourite trick at the moment is probably either the Rayleigh or the Whirly. The Rayleigh is like basically where you cut in really hard and then your legs go out like a Superman. And then the Whirly, which is a backflip with a 360, but you all lay the handle.
You're going to work up to Whirly 720s? Is that the plan?
I don't know, hopefully.
What's your first memory? What's your first memory about wakeboarding?
Well, just the time when I got up, first time on the boom with my friend's wakeboard and just getting out of the water and riding on the top of the water. It's just a wicked feeling. Getting out in the water with your mates is all about getting into wakeboarding, isn't it? Yeah, definitely.
So what's your most embarrassing moment in wakeboarding?
Well, I went to the Worlds in 2009 and my first one was pretty embarrassing. I fell on like my first and second trick, got picked up by the jet ski, dropped off. And then luckily in the finals I sticked all my pass and then won it.
Speaking about competitions, tell us a bit of your repertoire, what you've got under your belt at the moment.
Well, in 2009 I won the world titles in Orlando, Florida, and then recently I won the 10 to 14 division at the Australian Open.
Well, that's pretty good if you ask me.
Thanks.
Not too bad at all.
Yeah.
And where's your favourite spot about wakeboarding?
Well, riding here is just wicked. Like the water's pretty much good all the time. And then Clear Lake in Orlando, Florida. I rode there. The hot weather, the warm lake, just awesome place to ride.
So how does someone get started with wakeboarding?
Well, basically, you gotta in the water. You have your knees bent and your arms straight, and you slowly get pulled up. And you feel the tension, and you stand up. And then you slowly turn your board if you're natural or if you're right foot, and there.
So any training that you do when you're not wakeboarding to help?
Well, mainly the trampoline, hey, just do most of my tricks on there. Yeah.
Who's your mentors? Who do you look up to in the sport?
Definitely Daniel Watkins. He's just like, everyone loves him. He's just like a legend of wakeboarding. And then Harley Clifford. He's like the best wakeboarder in the world at the moment. He does like flips with 720s in him. He's just insane. So
when is your professional board coming? When are you going to get your signature board?
I don't really know at the moment. Hopefully I do get one.
Yeah. Are you getting into wake skate at all?
I've run the wake skate a couple of times. They're good to learn Rayleighs behind the boat because you cut in and then you push out and the wake skate flies away.
Yeah, no board there to stay behind.
Yeah.
Yeah, any good stacks when you're wakeboarding?
Yeah, when I was trying my whirlies, I landed one and then the second one I over-rotated and came around to the back edge. Yeah, that hurt a lot.
Oh, I bet. Sometimes people don't understand that when you're wakeboarding, the water can actually feel like concrete.
Yeah, it hurts so much, especially on the edges.
Yeah. Oh, I hear you on that one. Tony, how did Coby get into wakeboarding?
Well, he was born to do it. From early ages, he used to watch myself and my friends get out there, water skiing, wakeboarding, just clowning around in boats. And from as little as 2 years old, he was on the board with me, between my legs. And then later on, about 3, we got him his first wakeboard. But a kid has to be at the age where he can fall off in the water and be happy in the water by himself. So at 4, he started kneeboarding by himself. And the falls from kneeboarding were few and far between. So when he stopped on a kneeboard, he would just float, and we go and pick him up again. But he first got up wakeboarding and water skiing when he'd just turned 6, and that was the stage where he was confident enough to be floating in the water by himself should he fall off. And from then on, he's just been flying with it.
How about yourself? Did you start off in the sport quite young yourself, or was it something that came a bit later on in life?
Yeah, look, our family was always into water sports. I think I started skiing at 10, and I was on a toboggan back in those days from about 5. But we definitely didn't do it as much as I have over the last 15 years. But we spend a huge amount of time on the water, and we love it.
So how does the sport benefit Coby?
Look, no one in our family is a runner, and he's been in the top 2 or 3 in his school for running every year, so it keeps him really, really fit. The amount of time he spends on the trampoline and out on the water, he's a really fit little kid, and he meets a lot of friends. I mean, it's a social sport. Everything we do is together with other people on boats. So when he goes out for a wakeboard, there's other kids in the boat. It's a social sport, but it's really good for his whole outlook on life as well. He realises he has a lot of stuff thrown in him through sponsors. You know, the guys at Pro Wake, Nautilus Marine, O'Brien Motorsports, there's a whole heap of them there. They give him a lot of stuff, and he knows that that's not free gear. He knows that he has to put the hard yards in over those cold months of winter to get those rewards. And he loves getting a new board, but he knows putting the work in as well. So he's got a really good work ethic. And the other thing is he's quite a good public speaker, because every time he gets on the podium in our little club competitions, a microphone gets stuck in his face and he gets asked to thank his sponsors or thank somebody. So it's been really good for him.
So what was the best memory of Coby being in the water?
Look, I don't know whether it was the time he landed his first flip, which is the front flip, or whether it was when he won the World Championships. You know, every success he has is just an awesome feeling as a parent. But when he landed his first front flip, he had been to hospital once with a split lip. He'd split it 3 times trying that, and he was determined to just keep trying. He landed his first front flip, and that was a real achievement.
That's one thing about wakeboarding. You've got to be committed and stay committed to that trick that you're trying to do every time.
Absolutely. You've got to focus on the success and not the failure, and he's been really good at that.
A lot of hard work out there too to become where he is today.
Absolutely. A lot of people think that kids have no fear, but kids definitely develop fear, and Coby has to sell himself into trying a new trick. Quite often these new tricks he's landed on the trampoline 100 times, so he's got all the moves, and when he gets out on the water, it's just a matter of him committing to it.
So how can kids get into wakeboarding?
Well, there's 2 ways to do it. Tell mum and dad to buy a boat, or go down to a cable park. And that's a great change with the sport today. You know, back 20 years ago, the only way you could wakeboard was to have a boat, or either friends or your own, and you can do it behind any type of boat. But today, cable parks are everywhere. We've got a great cable park in Cairns, we've got another one in Penrith, we've got another one on Logan. There's more cable parks going in all the time.
One up at Bly is the one with all the beautiful features, kickers and sliders.
Bly as well, and they're all loaded with those kickers and sliders. It's a great sport. I'd encourage everybody to get into it.
And so what gear do you use out there on the water?
Well, basically you need a board and a life jacket, and a lot of the new parks you need a helmet as well. But we use O'Brien gear. We find it's a world-class brand. I've been associated with it for over 20 years now. You can't get a better board or wakeboard or water ski than an O'Brien.
And what sort of maintenance tips can you give us here to look after the boards and boats and life jackets?
Yeah, hey, the boards and life jackets, they don't need anything but fresh water. When you finish your run, give them a wash down. Apart from that, they're really, they've gone through 20 years of development, and you can see some of the gear here. I mean, these boots that you get today, they've totally changed from the old rubber things that if you used to leave out in the sun years ago, they'd perish. I mean, these boards are state-of-the-art, top gear, so all you need to do is wash them down and they'll keep going forever.
And how have the boards changed over the years since wakeboarding's progressed?
Look, don't forget, wakeboarding's probably only about 20 years old, and a lot of the progressions have happened in the last 10 years. But you see, a lot of the boards have moulded fins now, so Coby can bolt on an extra fin in here if he needs to, but they have moulded fins. The board shapes have changed. There's new boards now that are actually made to flex, which are especially for riding the rails, and they have like a snowboard base on them. The bindings have gone to a closed-toed binding, and these are a super comfy boot. You don't have to worry about a neoprene thing that's going to stretch and perish on you. So there's been huge changes, and they're really light now too.
And protection as well is very important in wakeboarding to keep the knees and ankles all supported.
Absolutely. I was just saying on the weekend that there seems to be a reduction in injuries over the last few years, and I think it's because of the technology of the gear that people are riding is much higher now.
Yeah, who are some of your favourite riders? Who do you look up to in the sport?
Look,
apart from your son.
Yeah, well, he's definitely my favourite rider. I grew up. I got into wakeboarding about 15 years ago, and the advantage of living on the Gold Coast here on the Coomera is we've got legends all around us. I did a lot of wakeboarding with Matt Dance and Lisa Dance, and they're a husband-wife team who have both been on world podiums. Daniel Watkins from the Pro Wake crew, the new guys, Harley Clifford, he's a Brisbane boy, he's the world's #1 wakeboarder, just turned 18, he's unbelievable to watch and a true gentleman too. So now there's a whole bunch of guys out there who are driving the sport, and most of them are based here on the Gold Coast, and it's great.